and she went for her test Friday, and okay, she's fine as I expected.
Good.
Okay. So we're starting. So let me explain. So what happened is like this. What happens is like this. That the first thing that happened was that so Moses is on the mountain, right? Because he went up to spend 40 days to basically learn the Torah from God and teach it to the Jewish people. So he's up there on the mountain, and God says to him, "Go down, because your people has corrupted. They've done the wrong thing." Because Moshe's greatness only comes because of the people. Moshe exists for the people, not the other way around. So Hashem says to Moshe, I can't stay up here with you in the super high level studying Torah with you when your people have messed up. So you got to go down and fix it. And Hashem says, by the way, if you want, I'll wipe the people out and I'll start again with you. So Moshe has this whole discussion with God, and he asks God not to destroy the people. God agrees not to destroy the people, and Moshe goes down. And it says that the luchot were very heavy. And when he saw what they did with the golden calf, he was so overwhelmed that he lost all his strength. And the luchot, he let go of the luchot, and they fell from his hand and broke at the foot of the mountain. Then for 40 days, he's down with the people, admonishing them and asking Hashem to forgive them. After 40 days, Hashem says, okay, come up. I'll give you another set of luchot. And for 40 more days, he's up there and he's, carving out the new set of luchot, and he's asking God for forgiveness and so on. And then on Yom Kippur, 120 days after he first went up to the mountain, 80 days after he broke the luchot, God forgives the Jewish people, gives them the second set of luchot, and that is Yom Kippur. So that's the timeline. But the interesting thing, God says, let me alone and I'll destroy them. So he understands that God is challenging him to speak up for the people. And the idea is that at one level, the people just received the Torah, they messed up, so they deserve to be destroyed. But at a deeper level, there's a connection between God and the Jewish people that's essential, like a parent with a child, that's never negated no matter what the child does. So Moses basically is eliciting from God this deeper connection, because everything in Judaism is a partnership. So basically, God challenges Moses to reach deeper and to find a deeper connection that can't be destroyed by wrongdoing. And he finds it. And that's why Hashem relents. God doesn't change his mind. God challenges Moses to dig deeper. And we have this little piece, I said this in Shul today. So there's a little piece where God says, I'm going to send you an angel. I shouldn't be too close to you because you messed up. So Moshe says, no, just the opposite. I'm not going to continue my job if you only speak to us from a distance. You have to be among us. Because the people messed up, they need you more, not less. Because they failed, they need your help more. They need your presence more. And God agrees once again. So Moshe elicits from God this sense that he's going to remain connected absolutely and essentially no matter what we do. And the concept is that the greater the darkness, the more light we need. In other words, it used to be that we say that in order to learn the secrets of the Torah, the inner teachings of Judaism, you have to be on a very high level. But now we say no, because life is so difficult, because spiritually speaking, because we've been through so much, because there are so many challenges and questions and temptations, we need more. We need to make the deepest levels of the Torah available to everyone. We need to translate into all the languages and so on and so forth. So Moshe sets a pattern that when things get difficult, we need to be closer to God and have more access to his teachings, not less. So we don't say, are people worthy of learning the deepest secrets of the Torah? Just the opposite. We live in a world of so many challenges and so many questions. We need to make it more accessible, not less accessible. So another example of this, for example, in the past, where most people didn't go to school, and certainly girls didn't go to school. So girls didn't study Talmud and didn't study the Kabbalah and so on. So nowadays, all the great rabbis, Lubavitcher Rebbe, Rabbi Yosef Dov Soloveitchik, who we study Sunday morning, they all said no. Now we're in a place where there are so many challenges to Judaism intellectually and socially, everyone needs to learn more. And whatever limitations there were on the girls studying Torah, we have to eliminate them because they're studying math and they're studying science and they're out there in the world. So every single Jew, male or female, needs the same access to the Torah. And this we learned from Moshe, where God says to Moshe, oh, maybe the people messed up. Maybe they only need an angel. Hashem says, no. Moshe says, no, Hashem, we need you to be close to us and with us. And by the same token, it says that before the Jews messed up, the Torah would just have been the tablets and the Torah and the law and the basic laws. But after the Jews messed up, the second tablets include Mikra, the Tanakh, Mishnah, the teachings of the Halachot, the Gemara, and Agadah, and so on. In other words, that the Jewish people needed more Torah afterwards, not less. They needed more access to Hashem's teachings, not less. And that's the lesson. When you see challenges and when you see that Judaism is faced with challenges like today, and we see that so many Jews are disconnected, the solution isn't to lock ourselves in a room and say only the initiated may enter. No, we have to take the Torah, we have to translate it to all the languages, and we have to go out physically and on Zoom and on Facebook and make Torah as accessible to everyone as possible. And we don't, in other words, we don't teach the Torah to people because they deserve it. We teach them the Torah so they should come to deserve it. And that's this little piece where this little conversation of Hashem with Moshe, where God offers an angel and Moshe doubles down and says, with good chutzpah, no, we now we don't need an angel. We need you to be present within us in the greatest possible way. So this is really the way we have to respond to every challenge. We don't say, oh, this generation is so bad and so many Jews are assimilated and so many Jews are distant. Let's let the holy ones lock themselves in a corner. No, the holy ones have to open the doors. And when I say the holy ones, I mean people who know something. You know, if you know Aleph, teach someone who doesn't know Aleph. You know Aleph and Bet, teach someone who only knows Aleph. We have to get out there and we have to make the Torah accessible. And there's no question of who deserves. And any method that technology gives us, we have to use. And that's the lesson where wherever God tells Moshe, well, you know, maybe you don't deserve, he says, no, just the opposite. If there's problems, it's because you haven't been close enough. People haven't learned enough. They need to know more. And the idea is that instead of worrying about darkness by trying to run away from it, you have to add light. And Hashem agrees with Moshe. And Hashem says, okay, I'll go with you. I'll be among you. And since then, Hashem has always been among us, whether we've seen it or not. And how is Hashem among us? Through the Torah. And how is the Torah among us? When all of us make the effort, not just to study it, but to make it accessible in every way possible, in every language, and every platform, and so on. And that's one of the lessons of this week's Torah portion that gets lost in the big dramatic story. But it's a whole aliyah. And it's really, really important to understand that the solution to weakness, to lack of commitment to Judaism, isn't to find the people who are committed and go hide in a corner. It's to take everyone who knows something and get out there and teach it to everyone and be there for everyone. Make sure your doors are open and that everyone who comes in is comfortable. And if they don't come in, you go out and you talk to them till they come in. And that's what we learned. There's a golden calf. We don't back down. We just add more good things and more light and more Torah. That was God's response. He gave us a bigger, more complex Torah after the golden calf.
Did Moshe go up a third time?
No.
So it seems there's a whole discussion in the Gemara and in the commentaries. He may have gone up 3 times. He went up once, right, and came down. And then he goes up to get the second tablets. It would seem that he went up, there's a whole debate as to whether he went up a third time in between. It was the 40 days where he asked Hashem for forgiveness. On Rosh Chodesh Elul, so just the Jewish month, he came down on the 17th of Tammuz, and he went back up on Rosh Chodesh Elul. There are opinions that between the 17th of Tammuz, Rosh Chodesh Elul, the whole 40 days, he was asking God for the Jewish people to forgive the Jewish people, that he also went up on the mountain. But that's not clear. We know for sure he was there twice. In other words, he went up, first of all, before Shavuot. That's one time. Then he came down for Shavuot and went back up on Shavuot. But then he was up there for 40 days and came down on the 17th of Tammuz. So whether he was there 3 times or 4 times, because we know he went up and came down once before the giving of Torah. We know he went up and came down between Rosh Chodesh Elul and Yom Kippur. In the middle days, from the 17th of Tammuz, Rosh Chodesh Elul, there's a whole discussion whether he was seeking forgiveness on the ground or he went up to the mountain. So it's a question. He was there 3 times or 4 times. We're not sure.
That was where I had to get a clarification on the reading.
Right. So when God says, "Go up to the mountain and make yourself a new set of tablets," so the question is, was that a 3rd time going up since the Torah was given, or a 2nd time? There's a whole debate about that.
Right.
We know for sure that he went up to receive the Torah, and he went up again from the 1st of Elul until Yom Kippur. That we know. The reason you need clarification is because it's a debate. It's unclear from the text itself.
Yes. All right.
Okay. Any other questions or comments on the parsha this week? It's a very interesting parsha. Okay. Well, with that, I wish everyone a Shavua Tov. So you know this. There's a nice song we sing Mitzvah Shabbat, and God willing, once we're all back together, I think in the winter we'll do more Mitzvah Shabbat, more Saturday night Lava Malkas. We'll do more musical things. We, just like with the Torah, we got given a bigger Torah afterwards. So after the Corona is over, we have to have more get-togethers and more meals together and more musical evenings and more Friday night dinners. We have to do everything more because we missed the whole year.
Right.
So Mitzvah Shabbat, everyone knows the song. Eliyahu
Hanavi, Eliyahu Hanavi, Eliyahu Giladi.
Okay, Shua Tov, everyone. Tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock, in person and on Zoom, and 9:30, Rabbi Soloveitchik's teachings. This week, we do not have morning and afternoon. We don't have classes Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but we resume on Thursday.